Okay, so let me give you a proper introduction. Joining us is Srinivas Krishna. He's CEO of a company called Geogram. Now, very important part of remote work and play, or the remote work and play industry, is collaboration. So we built this section of the summit to talk about innovative collaboration. So Srinivas, I'm going to let you present. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop my video, unmute, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Neil. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And it's been really an inspiring afternoon. I'm quite humbled to be here, learning about all the developments in infrastructure and technology. These are things that we as a company rely on to, deliver remote spatial collaboration tools for managing physical locations and live events primarily. So it's been really great. I'm not going to talk about technology. Rather, first, I want to talk about the moment we're in from a business perspective. I want to just step back and look at the landscape first, and then I want to talk about the challenges that we face as businesses and how we as a company at Geogram try and help. And I'm going to just start off by just saying that I think we all agree here that we now live in really a collaboration economy. I call it that because when we talk about remote work and remote play, what we're really talking about is doing things together from different locations. And that's kind of says the obvious, but it's good to say every now and then to say, what are we really trying to accomplish from a human and business perspective? Amazingly, as Dr. John Petty pointed out, there's many who just don't seem to acknowledge this reality today. And believe me, I know, because our sales team tries to sell to them all the time. And we point something out in trying to make the case, and that's really that this is a different era. We look at the periods of digital transformation that we've undergone, starting in the 90s and 2000s. What did we do? We basically digitized images and text. Our office filing cabinets went digital and then ultimately went online, and it resulted in new products and services. More recently, in the past, in the 2010s, what we saw was the development of digital subscriptions and communications, and that created something that was more relationship centric. Businesses really looked to develop subscriber relationships when they realized that companies and even people just want to use things as they need them, and that relationship became central. Post-COVID, we're in a different moment. For the first time, we all had to kind of retreat to our offices. I know we as a company did that, and we had to find a way to work together. And it was a terrible crisis, but at the same time, it unleashed a lot of creativity and development of tools that were already there. And what we've essentially been trying to do since then is do more than just a relationship as a subscriber. We want to digitize how we work because we all want to work together. And that makes this, business moment experience-centric, is what I like to call it. And so when we talk about the collaboration economy, we're really talking about creating good experiences, digitizing work. Of course, big changes have big implications too for businesses. We all know this statistic that, from about 50 years ago, only 50% of the companies in the Fortune 500 still survive. If we look at 1968, the average lifespan of, S&P 500 firms was 33 years. In 1990, it was 20 years, and it's projected in a couple of years to come down to 2000 or to about 14 years. Now, at this rate of churn, half of today's S&P 500 firms will be replaced over the next decade. Think about it. So the challenges and risks to companies in this moment is really profound. And we all know those companies that just didn't survive digital adoption, Kodak, Toys R Us, Blockbuster, it goes on. But there are also people who succeed. And I just want to point out Microsoft, which retired Skype for Business 10 years after acquiring it for $8.5 billion. and moved to Teams, which is now the communications and collaboration service within Office 365, and we heard about that today. This is a company that's going to live. An even bigger indicator, Adobe buys Figma for $20 billion. $20 billion. Figma started about 10 years ago. So when we look at the tools that we use to work together today, they've been around. It's just they've accelerated. And as someone said, COVID was really the accelerant. But the question then comes back to why? What's the common thread here? And it's really because customers now expect the collaboration experience. That's what they want. And it's not going to change. We're not going to go back to the way we worked before. And that is a fact. So when we talk about the collaboration experience, what does that mean? It means some universal things that, we all need. We need access 24/7 anywhere. It's usually permissions-based. We want real-time interaction with collaborators now, immediately. We want to see what each other are doing. So it's what you see is what you get. You want it in real time. Software has to be interoperable. No more silos, walled gardens. We want it personalized. We want people to know the jobs we're doing. We want it to be easy to use and secure. Finally, and this is always an intriguing thing, is that there's a growing recognition of the needs for privacy, while at the same time, there's this kind of incessant demand for real-time data on a need-to-know basis to be delivered. Like, where's my notification? Why didn't get an email on that? Why didn't you ping me? And the expectation is that we should always be kept in the know. It's a bit of a challenge, but it is something that we have to deal with. This is, where customers are going, and those who deliver this to customers, I believe, are really the ones that are going to prevail. Now, I'm going to throw a kink into this, because what we're talking about really so far is 2D collaboration. I mean, it's one thing to go from drawing on a paper together to collaborating on a screen, and that's what Figma does so remarkably. But it's another thing to collaborate on operations, on physical work at a real location, like a venue, where live events happen, or a factory floor or construction site, to do it all remotely. Now, there are tremendous advantages to doing it. First, there's, as we all know, an enormous labor shortage going on, and that's as true in all these sectors: construction, factory, manufacturing, live events, the hospitality sector. A simple statistic in hospitality and venues and live events is they're operating at 130% pre-COVID demand today for live events, but they only have 65% of the staffing, and that's just tells a great story, and remote collaboration would really address that challenge. You'd have unlimited access to your venues and the inventory there. Today, I mean, it's a fundamental problem of live events and venues is you're trying to design and sell something at a location to which you don't really have access. How do you visualize it? How do you, plan it? A big problem in live events is errors when you go from design to implementation. And that's really because you don't have a single source of truth or for the latest update for your projects for all stakeholders, and remote collaboration would eliminate that. So there's enormous advantages, but at the same time, there's, a real problem because we're talking about the physical world, and the physical world just, it's not digital. It just doesn't have those capabilities. I mean, when we, look at, an online experience, and when we go online, I think we all know how much we're being tracked. People know our identity, they know our behavior, what we're doing, our assets, what we're buying. We get automated personalized communications on websites. All of those are very difficult to accomplish in a physical space. So how do we do it? Our solution is just to bring the physical world online. And we do this by producing digital twins, scale-accurate 3D models of physical locations. And we map that physical location with our own geospatial AI technology that enables that twin and that location to communicate, to be aligned and in constant communication with geospatial data. What this enables someone on a desktop to do in that digital twin is to design a location and stream AR content to users at that location. Meanwhile, you can see inside your twin those users visualized as avatars, exactly where they are in the location. It's a one-to-one correspondence between the two, and developing this has enabled us to provide some real value to our customers. What they can do is they can design a space collaboratively and remotely inside an immersive virtual world that represents that location. They can plan and simulate processes and customer journeys virtually. They can design and deliver shared AR experiences for users on site without writing a single line of code. And soon they'll be able to programmatically geolocate everything in that site, know where everything is, authenticate, record physical transactions on the blockchain, and monitor performance in real time, play back the results, analyze, iterate, improve. In short, everything that we do digitally, they'll be able to do in a physical location. Most everything. I'm going to show 3 use cases on video. The first is planning an event. This is a real venue, and here's the digital twin. You can collaborate with other users, drag and drop your assets. They're all in your library. And rapidly stage the event space. You can add media. You can even add web pages and browse them. You can do all of this remotely with your stakeholders in real time inside the app. Now here's where it gets interesting. You can stream all of this to the location and then view it in AR. What's more, you can see those users as avatars in your twin in real time. You can communicate with them, collaborate with them, make changes in real time. So the other thing you can do is you can manage all of your locations in one platform and operate at scale. The results very quickly are enormous. You know, customers save up to 30% in operating costs, enormous amounts of man hours, 74%. They increase user engagement by 37% and generate new revenue opportunities. This is proving to be a game changer in the events industry. Very quickly, we've been in this space for about 10 years. We're not new. And in fact, we started very early days with Neil when TIFCA was staging the Immersed conferences. So a lot of these technologies that we've developed come out of our experiences creating experiences quite some time ago. In short, I just want to conclude by saying that the collaboration economy has arrived. I think, you know, the way we do business has fundamentally changed. And I think TIFCA has an incredible role to play in furthering this whole effort. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for being here, Srinivas. And by the way, you're going to share links. If people want to see the other use cases, I'll distribute to everyone so everyone could see your wonderful work.
Thank you.
And I'm really grateful that you're able to present, because I wanted to show innovations and collaboration, especially for this remote work and play future. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.